Peace. Welcome back to the Rise and Cream podcast. This is the place where we're bringing sexy back to the everyday hardworking men and women who impact your life within close proximity. We want to rise above this madness, which is the current state known as Black culture. We're going to have high-level conversations for unconfused minds. So therefore, we can go throughout our lives and solve problems, make life a better quality of living around our loved ones and all our environments, whether it's work, social gathering, family. We want to be the best people that we can be. It's all about self-improvement and self-development, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a non-stop thing that you should constantly do throughout the course of your life. If you like the content that I share on this channel, please go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. And if you have not today, got your copy of Improving the Perfect You, Self-Improvement Tips for Black Men in an Era of Rejected Masculinity. And this book is just simply to pick you up as an individual where you can enhance yourself, get into your talents, your skills, your trades. A lot of people always say, I don't know what my purpose for existing is. All you have to do is just realize something that you love and something that you're passionate about and take what you know and your gifts and use that to solve the problems of everyday people. This is how you sustain value with people throughout the course of your life. This is how you look beautiful and attractive to people. It's the things that you could do to help improve other lives besides your own. God has charged us to live peacefully amongst all men, as well as be servants to mankind. So shout out to all the humanitarians out there, people that look out for the homeless, people who focus on hunger, people who focus in the education field to help, people, especially the children, become more literal, people helping with people in different areas of life and infrastructures and industries. So shout out to you all. And that's why I always say we bring sexy back to the everyday hardworking men and women who impact our lives. Me personally, I don't believe professional athletes should be paid more than teachers. I don't believe professional athletes and actors and entertainers should be paid more than firemen or people who serve your life, police officers, not race soldiers. These are the people who impact your life, medical, paramedics. So we have to understand that these people are the true superstars and heroes of our lives. But what I want to talk about today is training your mind. Now, we always hear about mastering yourself, mastering your emotions, and training your mind. My family went on the Family Feud contest where Steve Harvey was hosting, right? And I was excited about the whole debacle, not debacle, excuse me. I was excited about the whole shebang. I happened to be at the gym today hooping with a bunch of my peers. So I told the guys, I said, hey, look, I'm finna drop off. My family on Family Feud. And you know what? All the guys just stopped playing ball and they came and supported. So we're in the gym in the workout room and we're watching the show and we're laughing and, we're excited, and I'm proud that my family's on national TV. So it came down to one last question. And they always survey. I think they always say it's 100 people they survey. And the last question was, if there was something that you forget to turn off at night, what is this? No, I'm sorry. Excuse me. What is something that people usually forget to turn off at night? And I can't remember what my relative said. I think it was Daisy. I think she said the stove or the oven or the pot, something like that, right? I thought that was a legit answer. Then he asked the other contestant from the other family, and she said, your thoughts. And I'm like, what? Everybody, we're in the workroom and we're all looking at each other like, that's stupid. That's a stupid answer. However, when the survey said, bing, it was the absolute correct answer. Now, at that time, I'm in my feelings. I'm in my emotions. I'm like, that's stupid. That can't be the right answer. Everybody in the break room that was with me, in the gym room that was standing around and watching and stuff, we like, oh, like that Spike Lee moment when the white dude ran over Bug Out's George with his bike, right? And then he said when he purchased the brownstone, he lived there, right? So it was one of those awe moments. But as time began to go on, I realized that a lot of my restless nights, when I did wake up, my head was banging, my eyes was red. I felt like I hadn't even rested. I never turned my thoughts off. I never turned my mind off. And throughout the course of the day, when I am conscious and I'm awake, how often was I uttering negative words? How often was I spewing hatred to other people? How often was I saying negative things and worried about people's lifestyles and the things that they believed in and the things that they wanted to practice? And why was that such a big deal to me? Just negative, 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 negative. Everything starts with a thought. Then it comes from speech, and speech eventually manifests into what? Action. So a lot of times when we intend to be positive, when we intend to speak positive, it is the biggest task that you will face. Just to go a whole day. Can you go a whole day without thinking one negative thought and saying one negative thing to an individual? They say words create worlds. And so as a man thinketh, so shall a man be. But now that's easier said than done. There's been plenty of times where I've woken up and I'm like, you know what, today's gonna be a good day. And then I'm gonna be positive and I'm, speak and be confident to everybody that I come in contact with today, right? Then as soon as I jump in my truck and get in traffic, somebody cuts me off, they a bunch of MFs and I'm going off and I'm mad and I'm pissed and I'm blowing my horn, and just that fast, I allow negativity to enter my arena, which is something that I completely had control over. But there's also ways that you could supplement to become more of a positive thinker, a positive individual. And I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, this is not as easy as you think it is. Now, there are people who have mastered this, but it takes years to kind of get to that level. And this is what I'm on. This is all a part of the path of self-development and self-improvement. And so what sometimes I may do, I may meditate, right? I may read a book. I may exercise. I may come up and try to figure out something new to challenge myself. To learn something new, or to go around a group of different people, to just be in a different environment, or maybe take a solo excursion somewhere to the cabins. I try to do things to balance me out and equal me out, but I want to be positive at all times. I try not to jump to my first conclusion, or a lot of times if your first reaction is just emotional, 9 times out of 10 it's the wrong reaction. I try to think positive and look at other things from other people's perspective. I think they say that's being insular when you are incapable of understanding other people's experience outside of yours. And so that's another tool that I try to use to also keep me thinking positive. I try not to take things personal. If I text somebody and they take forever to text me back, I try not to take it personal. If I call somebody, they don't call me back, I try not to let the negative thoughts get in my head and just rant and just take me under, right? So I always try to be positive and look at the positive outlook. I'm telling you, words are powerful. I remember when I said I was not going to pay to get a CDL. This was years ago. And guess what? I didn't pay to get my CDL. And another thing, I didn't have to go over the road to earn that CDL. So when we really begin to understand that everything we consume, we always talk about what you eat is what you will become, or you are what you eat. That doesn't stop with food, ladies and gentlemen. That comes with the music that you listen to. That comes with the things that you watch on TV. That comes with the people and the crowds that you are hanging around. And one thing that I've learned is how to cut off the fat. And what I mean by that is, even when it comes to social media, I don't follow negative pages. I don't follow hood pages and ghetto pages where I'm seeing the most negative things. I try not to watch traumatizing videos of people being murdered on camera. I try not to watch things about negativity with relationships between men and women. I try to watch things that make me happy, to feed myself mentally, what I'm watching subconsciously. From everything that I do, even the words that I speak. I don't even take certain phone calls from certain people if I know it's not constructive. So what I have done is worked on to realign my whole diet, even with food. But the most important is my mind and the things that I consume. I only want high-level conversations. I read books to kind of supplement idle thoughts. They say an idle mind is a devil workshop. I consume myself. If I'm feeling bored, I might get up and exercise and sweat and wind myself, or if I'm angry. But the hardest thing to do, and I'm challenging you, it's a call to action, is to train your thoughts. Train your thoughts. Every day you wake up, say affirmations and think things. Be quiet and try to go throughout the whole day with positive thoughts. Because guess what? When you try to change is not always easy, but you're going to be tried. You're going to be tempted. That is in the moment that you should embrace to be positive and train your thoughts. And when you train your thoughts, you train your words. You want to be the type of individual that people love to see coming. You want to be the type of individual that don't speak much and don't say a lot. But when you do, people listen because you have something to say. And no matter what the situation is, understand this. There's going to be always somebody who's better than you at something. There's going to be somebody that always knows more than you that you don't know, and that's okay. And I know a lot of time ego can get in the way, and you might lash out at an individual who might make you feel insecure, inadequate, because they may be better than you in a specific area in life. But then again, you're better than a lot of people in your circumference in life with things that you know that they don't know. So it all balances itself out. The number one thing you want to do from this day forward, focus on your goals, how to attack them, how to be more effective with your time. Focus on the way that you treat loved ones and family members. Focus on the way, if you are a parent, how you parent your children, how you talk to your children. When you go to your job, what is a better way that you could be a better coworker? And I ain't talking about going there and busting your butt and killing yourself, but just what are some of the things that you could do differently? Like when you walk in, if you typically not a person that speak to people, try it, see what happens. Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? Hey, we're gonna have a good day today. Let's have fun. Let's get the job over with. Let's work as a team. You don't know what reaction or how a lot of favor may fall into your lap. Well, what you want to do is positive thinking. I try to surround myself in a room with people who are smarter than me because it's positive. It's positive motion. I'm being challenged. And sometimes being challenged is a headache. I heard a guy to say in the room today, shout out to Unapologetic, who's really serious with helping people with the budgets and financial literacy to the point to where we can be your own bank. But he said something today that really resonated with me. He said that you must be able to learn something new. Age has nothing to do with it. And I think a lot of times people feel like because they're of a certain age that is just qualified for wisdom. No, listen, I'm 52 and I'm still learning a lot more things about politics that I should have learned in school. And a lot of times, to be honest, I didn't apply myself. I'm still learning a lot of things about money. I'm still learning a lot of things about religion and spirituality at 52. And I don't have an issue with that because my goal is to train my mind to be positive, to get the results out of life. And if I'm thinking these things, because we know that in the world of science, thoughts are electromagnetic waves, right? We all have a brain, which is a physical organ, but thoughts are multidimensional. A thought just don't fall out your mouth because it's not of a physical component. It's of a dimension. Ain't that beautiful? So at the end of the day, training your mind is the most powerful thing that you can do. And you could just set yourself up and understand this. It's like I tell my players, every player is different. Every individual is different. What is your signature? What is your signature? I'm not talking about one that you put on paper or electronically, but what is your signature? What is the one thing that people can say for sure that they know about you that is a signature positive attribute? Or are you one, because there's a lot of people, a lot of times, and we all got that one person, oh man, here they come. They always got something negative to say. They always sad. They always down and out. Don't nobody want to hear that, right? Because we all got our problems. But if you're an individual, people feel like you got good energy because you're positive. And ain't nothing soft about being positive. Ain't nothing weak about being positive, right? Because I know a lot of times people walk around mean mugging, you know what I'm saying? That to me is a sign of weakness. That don't mean anything. However, I encourage you to challenge yourself to train your thoughts and to be positive every single day. Whatever you trying to aspire to do, whatever area of work that you need to work on. Because I used to be one of these people. I used to go at people who wasn't black enough, if they wasn't pro-black enough. I used to go at people who I thought were dumb Christians because all they did was believe and never thought. I used to go at people who didn't have a certain diet, or when it came to women, if their hair wasn't locked and natural, right? All of that's negative. The only thing that I care about is people being a good person, but it starts with me first. So I don't care about what you eat as a diet. If you big as a house or if you skinny as a flagpole, if you are a good person, I'm always trying to be a positive around you, no matter what you believe, what you practice, your political views, your sexual orientation. Listen, positivity, loving people, having compassion for humanity. I want to operate at full human capacity, and that doesn't deal with color. Now, I don't want anybody to think that I'm suspending my mission for always wanting to help people out to understand how to counter white supremacy racism as a system, right? To give yourself better mental clarity, better mental health, a more fulfilling life because you understand what you're up against. But at the same time, I'm also encouraging you to keep pushing and keep moving forward. Now, before I end this segment, I just want to talk to a buddy of mine called me today, and I'm grateful for everybody who supports this podcast. I am so shocked and amazed at how many people support the show. Because sometimes the numbers don't always show in the views, but people are really watching the show, and I'm grateful for you, and I am thankful. But listen, understand this. I got a call today from a brother, and he told me that a good friend of his watches the show, and he was like, man, I really like the show and the podcast, but he loses me when he starts to talk about white supremacy. I understand that this, my good brother, and I know this gentleman, good guy, he's also married to a woman who is not black. Let me say this to you again. I am not pro-black. I am about truth, correctness, justice, and honesty. The reason why I'm not pro-black is not because I'm detaching myself from blackness. It's not because I hate my own kind. It's because, according to the code written by Neely Fuller, first of all, I had nothing to do with being black. I didn't know I was going to come in this world to be a black man. Number two, If white supremacy was slash racism was a reality we never knew, we would not be seeing anything black this, black that. We wouldn't know anything, because then we would be able to operate at full human capacity as the world should be. But because this is our reality, this is something that gives us face. It gives us materialization as far as our human existence. But I want y'all to understand that I don't have an issue with anybody except white supremacy as a system, racism as a system. I don't have nothing against white people. And I will never ask the question, well, do you hate white people? Because that question is in reverse. It should be asked, do they hate us as far as the system? But understand this, I love all people. If you don't understand it, listen, I'm going to leave the email right there. Hit that email link right there. Well, it's not a link, but hit that, contact me at that email. Ask me any question that you have to give you clarity. If you have suggestions on how I should take the show, what you want to hear me talk about, hit me in the email or put it down in the comment sections. But I don't want nobody to get my message misunderstood. Justice is guaranteeing, according to the code, guaranteeing that no one is mistreated and that people who need the most help get the most constructive help. And that has nothing to do with black people only, has nothing to do with being with Asian people, has nothing to do with being white or whatever. And then, I know a lot of people get caught up on the word black. Afro-Americans is what I would say, because I was born in America, and what gives me signature is the Afro. And the Afro, I think, is the oldest genetic code on the planet, according to my brother Rob Love, which I think was ingenious to come up with, right? Because I know people are into indigenous, and we're really getting into the realm of knowing who we are as an individual. But understand this, ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about countering the system. That's where the change needs to be. I am not talking about the everyday white person I see in the street. I have no animosity. People that know me know they've never felt hate from me, no anger, no animosity. I treat people with respect, love, kindness, and courtesy. All people, even people I know that don't like me. Even I've been around, I go get my guns in the country in Middle South Georgia, right? I know most of those most of the dealers down there, the ones who have to deal with behind the counter, they probably don't even like me. They probably don't even like black people, right? But guess what? I don't give a damn whether they like me or not. All I'm charged to do while I'm alive is to live peacefully with all men. I'm a human first. So if I see somebody that's distraught, that's in trouble, and they're not a black person, they might be of another ethnic stock, it don't matter, right? And I think this too, man. I think a lot of time racism is taught. That codification is taught. These children come in the world, and we always see children of all different ethnicities in a playpen playing with one another. They can't identify race, right? Even though their eyes show a color, they relate to symbolism, but they don't know anything about the classifications of races. They don't know anything about that. Same thing with adults. We've learned this stuff, but guess what? Not even a week ago, there was an ice storm that hit Atlanta, right? I seen black and white people helping one another get unstuck out of the ice or the snow, or do the best that they can. People come together when disaster strikes. I think it was 8Ball that said it's going to take mass destruction just to see we're all equal. So at the end of the day, these are just presets, and everybody just trying to get their piece of the pie as far as the American dream. But racism, white supremacy is a reality, and it's global. So if you are confused about what I'm teaching about this, simply just hit me up and we'll have a discussion. But I don't want anybody to ever come to this channel and feel uncomfortable. Now, trolls are gonna come. I ignore trolls, don't deal with it. I only deal with people who want to make this thing better for all people, not just for one group of people, right? So I thank you for everybody that watched the show. Again, like, share, subscribe. Tell a problem solver to come on in. Damn, I went past the mark. I'm only trying to cut these things down to 10 minutes. I went 20 minutes. I apologize, because I ain't trying to talk your head off, right? I say what I have to say. Hey, listen. The biggest mistake that you can make in life is to think that you have time. Until next time, hey, stay easy. I don't know. I couldn't think of nothing cool to say. Anyway, I value you all enough to love you the correct way. All right? And get that copy, get that book. Peace.